Well, the British Columbia Conservatives are in the spotlight after yet another MLA has left the caucus. This happened yesterday. Penticton-Summerland MLA Amelia Boultbee quit, saying that she had witnessed the unraveling of party leader John Rustad. Following Boultbee's resignation, Rustad accused Boultbee of leaking internal caucus information.
She made the decision to leave our caucus. We were trying to work through some issues with her. Unfortunately, we were not able to succeed in doing that. It's also unfortunate that we have from 4 different sources, including somebody who's working with the NDP side, who says, "What's going on with your MLA in Penticton? She's leaking everything to everyone."
Well, BC Independent MLA Amelia Boultbee joins me now. We did request an interview with John Rustad as well, but did not receive a response. But Amelia Boultbee, thank you so much for saying yes and being here today. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
I wonder if you could just respond to that allegation there from John Rustad that what's going on with the MLA from Penticton? She's leaking everything to everyone. Were you leaking everything to everyone, as your former leader says?
No, absolutely not. I'll be blunt. John's lying. If he had evidence that showed that I was a leak, he would have kicked me out of caucus. He already searched my phone, just like he searched everybody else's. Recall that when he kicked out Eleanor, he also said that she was the leak. So he's accused, half a dozen other people in this caucus of being the leak. And It seems to be just something that John does to discredit people.
Okay, I just want to back up a little bit there. The phone searching. This was in a caucus meeting. My colleague Katie DeRosa wrote about this. It
was, but I can speak about it because John admitted it in the press. So I am respecting, I don't talk about stuff that happened in a caucus meeting, but John was the one who answered that question to reporters and put it out in the public.
Right.
That he did order the search of both of our cell phones, so our work phone and our personal phone. And someone from the party did examine everyone's phones, including mine, and found nothing.
Okay, your personal phone, not just your government-issued, party-issued phone. They went through your personal. What authority? Did you just go along with it to dispel suspicion?
He has no authority, and I should have said no. But it was intimidating. I'll be honest. I was so shocked that he was even suggesting it that it took me a moment to kind of collect myself. And if I could have gone back and done that meeting differently, I should have refused. But it was really scary because I think it's wrong to search someone's personal phone, but then you don't want to look guilty if you're the one person saying no.
Right.
So it was a really difficult situation, and he did it on the authority of intimidation.
Okay.
He made an example of Eleanor by kicking her out, and the subtext is that if she's not safe, no one's safe.
Right. Okay. I want to play a clip here, if you can, Ms. Boultbee. And this was John Rustad was asked by reporters today about certain comments he made following your resignation. Here's a bit of his original comments and then what he told reporters today. Have a listen to this.
With regards to Amelia's health, we obviously had concerns when she's in tears. Staff were telling me that she's very confused, and so I had some concerns. She's had some issues in the past. Well, I didn't talk about mental health with her.
You raised it as an issue.
I did not raise it as an issue. That was raised actually by Rob Shaw as a question, and what I did say was that we were providing support and we had some concerns and we were trying to work through issues with her.
Okay, the question John Rustad is referring to there was actually asked by a CTV reporter, not Rob Shaw. This was Rob Buffum, a different Rob, but tears, confused issues in the past, denies he's talking about mental health. You called his original comments utterly shameful. What do you make of what we just saw there?
I'm really disappointed that John decided to go that low. Obviously, I'm not confused. I'm not struggling with my mental health. This was the most rational decision I've ever made. And the more he talks, the more I realize what a good decision it was and how I should have left sooner. It's very convenient that John waited until I had left to raise my mental health. It was never raised with me while I was there. 5 months ago, I was really struggling with a child abuse case that I was working on in my capacity as the shadow minister for MCFD. I shared that journey of mine with John in confidence because I thought he was a friend and mentor. I got some counseling. I got some other help to, help me deal with that, and which worked great. Mm-hmm. I've always been working full time. I've never closed down my office. I've always been doing my job. And I want to convey to British Columbians who hear how John's talking about me to say, don't let this man make you feel like there's something wrong with you. if you have depression or if you need counseling to help cope with something that's difficult. I think we need to destigmatize getting assistance with your mental health so that more people feel empowered to reach out. And it's shameful when John uses it as a weapon like that. It's really ugly.
But Amelia Boultbee, what is wrong with the Conservative Party of British Columbia right now? You're one of 5 MLAs, I believe, who have left or been kicked out or whatever since in the less than a year. We're 3 or 4 days away from the 1-year anniversary of the election, which this newly formed party almost won. And here we are, that you are the latest of 5. You know what I mean? And this is spilling out into public in an ugly way. I mean, what is going on with the Conservative Party of British Columbia?
I think the simplest explanation is that it's a lack of good leadership, and I blame it on John Rustad. Since when does the buck not stop with the leader? He's always blaming everyone else. He blames the caucus. He blames staff. You know, he says that we're the problem. We're not. This is a very viable party. We did amazing in the last election. We had a bit of a lift because of the federal Conservatives. But the reason that we did so well is because British Columbians are hungry and demanding a good alternative to the NDP. And I wanted to be able to provide that to them. I was very excited to be on the team. I was very loyal to him. And I am very sad and disappointed by how poorly it's been managed. And, you know, I wish that it hadn't gone this way.
You know, John Rustad was on the early edition this morning in British Columbia, and he said that the Conservatives are in a better situation today because they can now stay totally focused on the NDP. I mean, what do you make of that assessment from your former leader?
I'm going to disagree. I do think that the team is doing amazing work. I think that a lot has been done that's good in the past year. And to that, I attribute the hard work of my colleagues, the other MLAs. I give them credit for that. I think they've done it without enough direction or help from John and the leadership. And if we had had a better leader, you know, John had 2 jobs. Number 1, keep Conservatives together so that we are all united against the NDP. He alienated the left and the right. So he's done even worse than Kevin Falcon. That's the worst case scenario. We are splintered everywhere. And then his second thing he needed to do was to keep us election ready at all times because, you know, the thinking is that this government could be quite unstable. We should be ready for anything. And here we are today. We've got problems with fundraising. We are disorganized, not election ready, not on message. And the fact that John is even spending so much time trying to discredit me just shows you what I'm talking about. Why is he even talking about me? Go talk about the NDP.
Well, as a final question, you've had your phone searched, you've had your health questioned in public. It's difficult to see a path back for you as long as Mr. Rustad is leader. So is your future in politics outside the BC Conservative Party, or do you maybe hope for a path back should something change at the leadership level in your party? I mean, where do you sit right now?
I think the sad reality is that this may very well spell the end of my political career. If by the time the next election rolls around, I'm not with a party, I would not run as an independent because I don't agree with vote splitting. I do want to see a Conservative government here in BC, and I don't think that I could add to that as an independent. And I'm ready to accept those consequences. I hope that I can have a career in politics, but at this point, all I can say is that I'm going to serve the rest of my term with dignity, with integrity, not be associated with what's going on over there. If John is not the leader, I would love to come back to my caucus and my party and my friends, and I would love to be part of that journey, but I'm not holding my breath, and it's up to them how they want to proceed now.
Amelia Boultbee, BC now independent MLA. We appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And again, just a note, we did request an interview with John Rustad, but did not receive a response. And Mr. Rustad, you've been on the show before. We'll be happy to have you back on at your earliest convenience.